everyone, it's Diane. Welcome back to my channel, Scrap Edit Creations. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a card swatch book that I'm in the process of creating. So the first area we will start with will be the reds, the pinks, the purples. And for the next probably 3 days, including today, I will share a bit of this swatch book, and as well as sharing the files with you. Um, I'm not exactly sure how that's going to go down. If I can't include them below, then they will. I will include a link to my blog and have those files there. Okay, so let's get started on this. It's not a real long video today, but it is a fun one. So this is the swatch book. It's very simple. The pages come, let's see here, I've got one that's I still haven't cut yet. And let me grab one of my mats. Oh, they're there. I meant to have that out and about so you could see better. Okay, so this is how it comes. And what you're going to do is whatever paper you usually use white on that you're going to be coloring with, like I've been using white daisy. So I chose to cut my white daisy down to 8.5 by 11. Okay. And then you're just going to take it and cut it down the middle at 4 1/4. And then each section is going to be cut at 3/4 or 2 3/4. Okay. It is not going to line up in this middle line. It's going to cut it funky. You are not going to see that part, which is why it doesn't matter. My daughter was just trying to put the light and the dark there and just kind of section it off. But to make them 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, you get 4 out of each row. And then you just repeat the process again. Just make sure that, this is 4 1/4. It looks like I've got a little smidge right there. So you just trim that off and then take it to 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 each time. Okay. And that gives you all of those. There is, let me see, at the very end, I've got a strip that I was messing around with earlier. I am not seeing it now. It was just a strip that's kind of blank. Maybe, oh, here it is. So this will be one that you can add additional colors to, use however you want. The reason why I have light and dark is, of course, because there's two sides of the paper. I had her put a box here and here for my Copic markers. Okay, that's important to me. It's not important to everybody, but it also is something where with the light and the dark color, you could use your Spectrum Noir colors and just label which color you use. If it's, red something medium, you would put that there. Now for the labels, I am not doing them for the Spectrum Noir. I am doing them for the Copic because I usually use the Copic markers. So I did it and I just printed it off in the Avery labels, and it has the number and then that. I did make a copy of this, and I'll make a copy for all the colors of the colors I have chosen to use. They might not be the color you choose to use, but they are the colors I'm using. So I don't have all the ink pads, and that's what these crosses, boxes, my goodness, are down here for. Okay, but when we get to Scarlet, I do have that one. And so what I did is I took a stamp, and it is this little, let's see, you might be able to see it. It's a little flower. I mean, you can see it right there. And it is from the May word puzzle. It's just this little flower here. I'm not saying you have to use a flower. You could use a heart. You could use a star. I recommend it's something that is kind of solid or gives you a good coloring. I put the 3 here, or asked for the 3 here, because I wanted first generation, second generation, and third generation of the stamp with that ink color. And not all of them do you see that much of a difference. Okay, so I'm going to go through and list these off right now, and then I'm going to show you how I created it. Okay, so this one is Desert Rose, and she kept them all lowercase for the words. I did use upper and lower for the labels. So for light, I've got E04, Lipstick Natural. For the dark, I have E07, Light Mahogany. That's what I think goes the best. And how I chose that, I guess I should also show that. My daughter had a really good idea because I was going to use my little book, and she's like, use the paper you're going to be using most of the time. Take the pins and do a little line and write the numbers. So here's my reds, here's my E's, here's my V's, and here's my RVs. And I did do that with YRs, E's, there's a bunch of E's, so Y's, B's, and then I don't have all of the grays, so I couldn't do that for the grays, for as many. Okay, so basically what I did is I cut 3 different little swatch pieces. Here's my little swatch pieces. I just used one of my this is Harbor. I just used one of my photo mats and I just cut strips, 1/2 an inch. So this space is a 1/2 an inch. And what I did, let me see, here's the Desert Rose that's up here. And I took each color like this, and I just kind of went along here. And so I felt E07 matched really well with that one. And so that's why I went with that one. And then over here, E04, I thought did a really good job. And so that's why I matched that one. These aren't going to be perfect, and that's okay. I just need something that's pretty close to it when I'm coloring something that I can grab my Copic markers. I have a ton of them. The only ones, like I said, I don't have all of them yet are the grays, but I have all the other ones, and so I'd like to use those. I do have the Spectrum Noir pens as well. I just found that to get the color, you had to sometimes use 3 or 4 pens overline, and it's like, I don't have the time for that. I have the time to grab a pen and color something. And that's how I roll. It doesn't have to be how you roll. This is totally up to you. And if Spectranor is the pen that you're only going to use because that's the close to my heart pen, great. I think it's wonderful. I have them. I think they're a great pen. I just don't like not having an exact color match or as close as I possibly can get without having to use it 3 or 4 times. Okay, so like I said with this one, I did Lipstick Natural and I did Light Mahogany. So I'm going to grab my extra one that I cut out. So here it is, and I'm going to show you how I did this. And let me grab I happen to have some Couture Creations 1/2 inch tape, tear tape. So I'm just laying it, let's see here, across that. Now you'll notice that the lines for this part are a little lighter. My daughter decided to do those in gray, which is fine because you're technically covering them up. Okay, so I put the adhesive on the light. Then you take these and you find the light one and you just put it right there. That's all you do. Simple, so simple and so helpful. And then here's the dark, just double check in there. Put that there. Okay, so I like to use them. I mean, this is 2 and 7, a 1/2 inch by 2 and 3/4. And so I like to have it overlap on both sides, and I overlap the adhesive as well. And then I just take my scissors and I just trim that off, and then repeat on the other side. And then I have that done. Okay, so then the pens that I chose for the top one is 04, this Lipstick Natural. And then I'm just going to kind of squiggle it on there, okay? And then I'm going to take this little piece of that Avery label that I printed those off. And like I said, I will find a way. It might be on my blog, and you have to just kind of go to my blog to download this. But I will have all the colors I have chosen. And you can just print it off onto your Avery label. There you go. And then we have E07, however you want to say it, Light Mahogany. And I am taking the pin end, not the chisel end. And then I just kind of scribble it in that box. I don't want it perfect. It doesn't have to be. It can be if you want to. I didn't care. I just wanted a color that I could look at and say, okay, yeah, that looks pretty good, pretty darn near close. And then I just put that on the line. And that's all I did. Now, yes, it took me hours to do this. I am saving you tons of hours by getting this done all ahead of time. Finding the colors. I mean, it was hours of doing this. My husband was putting up this bird stuff to prevent birds from being under our deck while I was doing this. I felt bad because I wasn't able to help him, but I needed to get this done in order to get to this step. But, it is what it is. The other part is this bottom area. Now, I don't have Desert Rose stamp pad, so I'm going to use, this is the papaya. And because this is just a sample, it's not the one that's going in my pack. So stamp once, twice, 3 times. Okay? And then it's just, putting it in there. Here's once, twice, 3 times. And that gives you a little bit of an idea of all the different stamp offs that you can have. Say, but I'm not going to do it, like I said, on the back. I mean, this is just a sample, so I was able to do whatever I wanted to. But on the original, it's this. I have the notion that I am going to spiral bind these once I get them all done. I have gotten, this is all the pinks, reds, and oranges, like I said. So Desert Rose 04, Lipstick Natural, 07, Light Mahogany. Cinnamon, E17, Reddish Brass, and the dark is E18, Copper. Scarlet, R27, Cadmium Red, and R89, Dark Red. Candy Apple, 08, Vermilion, and 05, Salmon Red. Those were the colors. Like I said, these are just my choices. Papaya, R14, Light Rouge, and R32, Peach. Peach, R12, Light Tea Rose, and E93, Tea Rose. I thought that was kind of ironic. Ballerina, R20, Blush, and R21, Sardonyx. I'm totally butchering that, sorry. Wild Berry, I chose RV66 Raspberry and RV17 Deep Magenta. Flamingo, RV23 Pure Pink. I accidentally put a little extra line there. And R35 Coral, so I will fix that. It's Raspberry, RV14 Begonia Pink, RV25 Dog Rose Flower. Sangria, R39 Garnet, and R59 Cardinal. Mulberry, 2 of my favorite colors of pens too. RV91 Grayish Cherry and RV95 Baby Blossoms. Grape, V15 Mallow and V09 Violet. And then Wisteria, V20 Wisteria and V22 Ash Lavender. Okay, so those are the colors that I felt matched the paper the best. And like I said, this is going to save me a ton of time making sure that I've got the colors that I want to use when I'm coloring something. I did find that 12 of my pins needed to have refills that I didn't have so far. So that was fun today too. I did order those. Jerry's Artorama, I don't get any kickbacks from them, but I found that they're one of the cheapest places to get them. I don't like to buy a lot of the pins through Notions because I have to buy them in bulk. So Jerry's Artorama has a pretty good deal. And if you spend over $75, you do get free shipping, which is also very nice. Let's see here. Anything I am forgetting? So down below, you're going to see that you need 6 sheets of white daisy cut to 8.5 by 11. You print the file and you're going to cut it to 4 1/4 by 11, and then you're going to cut it to 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. Remember, ignore the lines with the light and the dark area. Then you're going to cut strips of cardstock to 1/2 inch by 2 3/4 or 1/2 inch by 3 if you want to trim them like mine. And then you're going to take your coordinating ink pad, find a small universal stamp. Like I chose this little flower because it gave me not only the white space, but it also gave me, the solid. You want something solid like a heart, a star, a solidish flower, a circle works. I just happen to want a flower. You're going to ink the stamp up really good with the coordinating ink, and you're going to stamp it 3 times so that you have the ink, 3 layers. You can also, because this will be, once you print it, will be your choice, you could do whatever you want down here. And then you'll use the Close to My Heart Spectrum Noir or the Copic markers, and you'll make your colors. If you have Tombow, that works too. If you have, let's see here, there's so many different pens out there. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever pens you have will work. Just, get the pen color that's the best for you. So for the words, I used Oswald, size 15 for the Copic number, and size 13 for the name of the pen. I made it smaller because of the fact that I didn't have a lot of space, but this number is the most important. I don't really look for things by this number. Some people do, some people don't. I usually look for it by this number when I'm doing it. So this just makes it easy for me to have this, and I think I did a pretty good job of finding very close matches to these. I was very, very happy with how these were matching up. So that is all I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope this helps you out. And definitely look either on down below or follow the link to my blog to get these cut files. Not cut files. They're just PDFs that you can print. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come play today. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe if you would love to see more of my videos. Leave a comment. I always appreciate those, and I try to get back as soon as possible on those. And have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.